Welcome to the Leadership Conference. Let's hear it. Now, I do want to go off script here for a second and say that there has been some attention lately on how useful it can be to plagiarize speeches. And I just want you to know that if I say at any point during this speech that I married Barack Obama, and that I have two daughters, one named Malia and one named Sasha, that I have not plagiarized Michelle Obama's speech, okay? I just want to be clear about that. Okay, so it's a great honor to be introduced by two long-distance runners in the struggle for educational justice. Thank you, Byron and Eunice, for all that you're doing for public schools in Los Angeles. Let's give Byron and Eunice another big round of applause. It's a great reminder that every piece of this work depends on having a team. And I've got a great team, as you know, working with me. Cecily Meyer-Cruz, our NEA VP, her connection to community and her ability to move groups of people with her charisma and her passion. I've got another teammate, Betty Forrester, as you know, our AFT VP, who's always got her big picture analysis, and she's always got her eye on the 100% right position on all issues. I've got my teammate Juan Ramirez, our elementary VP, who does some real soulful organizing, and he's got a thirst for taking on the district, particularly around instructional issues. I've got a great teammate in Colleen Schwab, our secondary VP, who takes on the district for the professional rights of our members, but she also knows how to work with school sites in a collaborative way to solve problems. I've got a great teammate in Arlene Inoue, our treasurer. She's got a bedrock, calm, unwavering perseverance, and she's got an inspiring sense of justice. I've got Daniel Barnhart as a teammate, our secretary, who not only has the tattoo that he revealed tonight, but he's got amazing technical expertise and he's got an ability to support schools through campaigns, which is a great gift. And I've got our executive director, Jeff Good, as a great teammate. Jeff brings some focus, Jeff brings some discipline, and Jeff brings an eagerness to throw punches at anybody who would undermine public education. So Cecily, Betty, Juan, Colleen, Arlene, Daniel, Jeff, it's incredible to share work and life with you all. Of course, my most important teammates are my wife, Anne, who's here tonight, and my 9-year-old Ella and my 12-year-old Max, who are with their grandmother tonight. Now, Ella is always teaching me things. When we were water sliding together this summer, she told me, right before I went down the water slide, she said, "Dad, when you go down the slide, hold on to your hat, because if your hat falls off on the slide, it's going to embarrass me." And Dad, when you're coming down the slide, make a face of a character from a movie and see if I can guess who it is. I'm thinking, okay, I'm not sure why the hat coming off embarrasses you, but the face doesn't. But it's a great lesson in multitasking from Ella. My son Max, who is 12, is developing into an organizer. When we were at my parents' house this summer, he was asking all of us to come down to the creek behind the house with him to catch frogs and build forts. And we were in the middle of something, so we said we couldn't do that, and we thought that was that. About an hour later, I saw Max walking back from the creek with my 77-year-old father and my 78-year-old mother, wet with creek water, 5 frogs in his hand, a bunch of bamboo shoots, and a couple of saws. I said, if you can do that, then you've got a future in the field of organizing. If you can get them to go down to the creek, build forts, and catch frogs. And none of this would happen for me without the support of Ann, my wife. She's a labor and delivery nurse. She does very important work as a labor and delivery nurse. She's the union rep on her floor of the hospital, and boy, does she have stories. And she's a great partner, mother, and daughter, and she keeps us always moving forward through the good times and the challenging times. So I love you, Ann, Max, and Ella. Now, speaking of love, give yourselves some love for building another historic year for UTLA. Let's hear it for you. So, who was in leadership this year? Who led that last year? Your UTLA Board of Directors. Give them another round of applause. Your UTLA field directors and our multi-talented staff. Give them another round of applause. Our allies and our affiliate partners from around the state and the country, including CFT, CTA, AFT, and NEA, let's give them a round of applause. And the most important leaders of our union, our backbone, chapter chairs, co-chairs, vice chairs, steering committee members, leaders at the work sites. Give yourselves a big round of applause. For the team that's been working nonstop to build this weekend, members of the Leadership Conference Committee, and for the workers here at the Bonaventure, let's give them another round of applause. We've got an important weekend in store. So, last year, we continued moving forward last year because of two things. An unapologetic perspective that we must protect, improve, and expand public education. And secondly, we brought an approach, and we continue to develop an approach that builds power through 5 strategies that always have to go together: member organizing, parent community organizing, contract bargaining, political action, and communications. That has been the lifeblood of what we're doing. And what did we move forward on this year? We want to reopen our bargaining agreement, ratified by 97% of our members, that reflects the next steps in fighting for control of our profession, including a reduction in the number of elements used for evaluations and cutting back against ridiculous workloads that take away from instruction. We won first-time ever timelines for each evaluation cycle, putting guardrails on principals who would abuse the process. We did all of that together, right? That reopener agreement also took first steps in moving towards our vision of community schools. It includes first-time ever cap on PE class sizes. It includes increased access to electives, additional counseling support, additional social emotional support at our highest needs secondary schools, and reduced class sizes in the upper grades at the 55 highest needs elementary schools. We did all that together. We became even more of a force around the country as we took a leading role in the national walk-ins on February 17th and May 4th. These were coordinated by the Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools. We had over 200 schools participate with thousands of parents, students, and community allies. We did that together. For the first time in years, we contributed to keeping LAUSD from issuing any layoff notices. We did that together. We won first steps in cutting back against the overuse and abuse of standardized testing. We did that together. We steered LAUSD away from the path that most other urban districts have gone down. We kept Eli Broad out of the superintendent search, and we successfully pushed for an educator to be hired to that position. We did that together. We supported successful school site campaigns across the city, removing some bad principals. Did we have any removed bad principals out there? We forced other principals to enforce the contract. We stopped charter co-locations in order to protect crucial school programs, and more. We did all of that together. As Donald Trump and his racialized rhetoric have seized the national stage, we've led on issues of racial justice with forums around the city and coalitions with the community. We've done that together. We won new contracts at 6 of our UTLA-represented charter schools, beating back attacks on their health care, winning class size caps at 2 of our charters, and pushing back on evaluation-based pay. We did that together. We continued to support the courageous Alliance educators who are fighting to be a part of our union. The courts keep ruling that Alliance management is acting illegally, and a state legislative committee is auditing Alliance's finances. The Alliance educators collected hundreds of teacher surveys on evaluation and hundreds of parent surveys on budget priorities for LCAP, and they're taking those results to management in the form of proposals. They are acting like the union because we're going to win the union at Alliance. Last August, Eli Broad and the Waltons of Walmart stated that they would turn Los Angeles into a neoliberal education market by moving 50% of LAUSD students into charters, a number that would push the district off the financial cliff to the dramatic detriment of district students, of charter students, of our jobs, and of our benefits. When they came out with that plan, we did not blink. In September, 700 of us showed up to protest at the opening of the Broad Museum. By November, we had a strong community labor coalition, and by January, the LAUSD board had passed a resolution condemning the Broad Walmart plan. We did that together. In May, we made history through research. Yes, it's true. I'm going to say that on behalf of our research department. We made history through research. Though charter schools have grown by 287% in the last 10 years in Los Angeles, LAUSD has never studied the financial impact of that. So UTLA, in a move that was unfortunately and surprisingly unprecedented, and with the help of our state and national affiliates, we commissioned a highly respected consulting firm to analyze the fiscal impact of charters on the school district. It was found that the LAUSD loses $591 million per year to charter growth, and that as the money leaves the district with students, the costs remain and even grow for the district, including charter oversight costs, infrastructure costs, the costs of educating the highest needs students who are left behind by many charters, and more. We showed that this is a fundamentally unsustainable path that threatens the very existence of the civic institution of public education. Among the many issues uncovered, it was found that LAUSD has never collected millions of dollars in reimbursements from Prop 39 co-located charters that were given space, but that they never used. We went to the school board on June 14th and told the district, never leave money on the table. And over the course of the last year, we together, the broad leadership of this union, member leaders, chapter chairs, cluster leaders, all of us, you in this room, we organized an overwhelming approval of the Build the Future, Fund the Fight initiative. You led in what is arguably the most important vote in UTLA history, bringing us financial stability, a full local merger to increase our power, and preparing us for the massive fights of the future. You made history not just in LA, you made history in the labor movement nationally. We did that together. That's a tremendous amount of work that we did in 2015-16, and it leaves us stronger for the bigger fights on our horizon. Earlier this month, UTLA's Board of Directors approved an organizational plan for 2016 to 2018 that builds on our strategic plan from last summer. There are two driving goals. First, we must improve our schools by fighting for more funding and more investment in a sustainable community school model. Community schools are those that offer a well-rounded curriculum, parent engagement, wraparound services, a personalized learning environment, respect for educators and workers, and more. Second driving goal, we must lead the struggle for a sustainable public education system by holding all publicly funded schools, district and charter, to common sense standards like equity and access for all students, transparency in all budgets, joint decision making, and unionization rights for all workers. To win these, we are going to need to build as much power as possible to shift the political dynamics, not just in LA, but in California. Our allies in the Chicago Teachers Union, and I want to recognize the Chicago Teachers Union President Karen Lewis is with us tonight. Karen Lewis. A heroine in the struggles for educational justice and in the union movement and the labor movement. Our colleagues in the Chicago Teachers Union have said that their education system is broke on purpose. They say broke on purpose. And that, in fact, describes our situation as well. Because the current financial, legal, and political construct of education in our state will lead to the death of public school districts, and it's time we address the issue directly. California hovers around 45th among the 50 states in per pupil funding. State law encourages and supports the unregulated growth of charters that decrease district revenue while increasing district costs. Almost $1 billion of the LAUSD General Fund goes towards supporting underfunded federal special education mandates. It is criminal that special education students aren't covered in what they need, and that this is taken out of the local budget. What should be done federally is a civil rights issue. Prop 13 allows corporations to avoid paying their fair share in property taxes. And per prison inmate spending in California is 7 times the amount of per pupil spending for K through 12 students. This is a plan for destroying the essential civic institution and community anchor of public education. While the system is broke on purpose, the privatizers are going for broke to increase their influence. The Broad Walmart scheme is raising $500 million. The California Charter Schools Association has spent far more on state legislative races this year than ever before. Billionaires across the country are looking at Los Angeles as the next and biggest opportunity to privatize and profit from the education of children. With our contract expiring in June of 2017, with the likely attack on our health benefits in the fall of 2017, with the race for governor heating up in 2018, and with the unequivocal need for state legislation that addresses inadequate funding and increased regulation of charters. With all of these things, the next year and a half must be founded upon building our capacity to strike and our capacity to create a state crisis in early 2018. There simply may be no other way to protect our health benefits and to shock the system into investing in the civic institution of public education. So, I told you earlier that I take a lot of leadership from my son and daughter, Max and Ella. And when I make lemon banana pancakes with them on the weekend, there are 10 ingredients. And we've got 10 ingredients that we're going to use to build the power we need to build towards this strike readiness between mid-2016 and early 2018. First, we are thrilled to be launching UTLA's first paid media campaign, public relations campaign in years. From late August to late September, over 70 billboards, signs, bus benches, internet sites, and more will carry our messages that billionaires should not be driving the public school agenda. Over the course of late August to late September, those 70 places are also going to highlight that there are amazing people working in our public schools every single day. This is a major intervention in shaping the public narrative, and there will be a key role for you in amplifying the media campaign through your own social media. We're going to let you know the exact intersections and exact places to go to see that media. Go out there, use it as a social media organizing opportunity. Let's do that together. Second ingredient. Building off of our incredible signature gathering work in the spring, we will organize to pass the extension of Prop 30, now called Proposition 55. At stake is whether California's highest income earners will continue to pay a particular stream of taxes to support the state's schools and social programs, or whether they will be given a tax break amidst growing poverty and inequality. At stake is over $700 million annually for Los Angeles. We will be involved in massive precinct walking and phone banking as we build to the November election. This will include walks around our school communities on October 6th in coordination with the next Alliance to Reclaim Our Schools National Day of Action. Are you up for that? All of this not only helps us pass Prop 55 in 2016, but it also lays the foundation for a Make It Fair statewide initiative on commercial property taxes in 2018. Third, we will engage our members in a round of hundreds of school site dialogues about our 2016-17 contract reopeners before ultimately sunshining our demands in the fall. There are automatic reopeners on salary and class size, and we must determine 3 other parts of the contract to take to the bargaining table. For consideration in these school site dialogues will be 3 issues that surface over and over and over again in our conversations with our members. School restructuring. Should we use a reopener to put guardrails on the district's ability to reconstitute and destabilize schools? We'll be talking about that with you at school site meetings. Over-testing. Though we won initial steps last year in cutting and clarifying testing, there is much more work to be done. Should we use a reopener to continue that work, we will be asking school sites in these dialogues. School discipline. When John Daisy, okay. I know how to get a reaction now. When John Daisy changed how LAUSD handles school discipline a few years ago, he was pursuing national headlines and personal advancement, not real positive change. The result has been a poor implementation of restorative justice and positive behavior support, and far too many schools that have no discipline systems in place. We need to reclaim school discipline. We need to reclaim positive behavior support. We need to reclaim restorative justice and build real programs that work for students, for educators, and all stakeholders. Our school site dialogues will ask, does it make sense to use a reopener to move that struggle forward? Fourth, we will continue to build a movement for state legislative change regarding the unregulated growth of charters. And I want to say here that this year was a big year working with charter educators. And we love our charter educators. We've got 1,000 members who are at UTLA represented charters. Give them a hand. Our charter educators understand that going after billionaires and going after unregulated growth that is going to undermine a system that they and their students depend on just as much as the district does, they understand that that is not us being anti-charter. It is us being pro-sustainability. Our charter members understand that. State legislation is fundamental to stopping Broad Walmart and challenging Prop 39 co-locations. This fall, we will build a community forum here in Los Angeles with Senator Ricardo Lara, who is the chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee. The hearing will look specifically at the fiscal report on the impact of charters on LAUSD. It will look at changes to state law that will be necessary if we want to protect the civic institution of public education from insolvency. As we organize members, parents, and community groups to this forum, we are also meeting with other unions locally and across the state. Now get this, and I want you to listen closely to this. Don't worry, I'm not going to say John Daisy's name. I don't want to bother you twice in a 5-minute period. Now get this. All of the unions representing LAUSD workers and the teachers' unions in San Diego, San Bernardino, Oakland, and San Diego, all of those unions share our June 2017 contract expiration date. We have a historic opportunity to lead a coordinated bargaining effort across the state. In support of funding community schools and building charter accountability. Coordinated action could dramatically increase pressure on the legislature and fundamentally shape the debate in the 2018 governor's race, a race where we expect to see Antonio Villaraigosa. Coordinated bargaining across the state could have a huge impact. Fifth, in the fall, we will be launching an innovative and nationally watched coalition with some of the premier community organizing institutions in Los Angeles: the Alliance of Californians for Community Empowerment, or ACE, the LA Alliance for a New Economy, or LANE, and the Schools LA Students Deserve Grassroots Coalition. These organizations are working with our member leaders to build organizing efforts in feeder systems from South LA to the East Valley to the Crenshaw area to bring parents, youth, clergy, and community into efforts to push for community schools, public school accountability, and educator unionization. Our efforts will also include independent school-by-school parent organizing by UTLA, and will drive towards shaping the LCAP in the spring. Sixth, in the winter, we will initiate a systematic process to identify priorities for our full contract bargaining in 2017-18, through school site chapter meetings and collective surveys, and through input from committees. We will sunshine demands and plan for escalating actions as we head towards the expiration of our contract. In the meantime, we're going to continue to use the UTLA LAUSD task forces that we've created through bargaining over the last 2 years to address class size, health and human services issues, educator development and support, and the crucial area of special education. As this work is happening around the LAUSD contract, we will be developing coordinated bargaining across our UTLA-represented charter schools, driving for higher standards across the board. Seventh, we will continue our tradition of providing trainings and ongoing support for school site organizing and contract enforcement, from taking on bad principles to organizing for effective school discipline programs, to holding administrators accountable to the contract, and more. We have hired additional staff for these purposes since the BFFF vote. We've also developed additional tools for you, like the exciting new book that was produced by our staff and by member leaders that you will receive this weekend. It's entitled Power Strategies, and we are very proud of that book, and we're going to use that as a tool for years to come. Additionally, with the monies from the successful Build the Future Fund the Fight initiative, we've brought on staff to deal explicitly and specifically with the backlog of grievances and to build a more effective grievance system. Eighth, in a time of chilling attacks on our LGBTQ brothers and sisters, in a time of institutionally racist police violence, in a time of terrifying attacks on the police, in a time where there is a lack of political will to control the flow of guns or provide the most basic social, emotional, and mental support services. In these times, we will continue to stand unwaveringly for racial and social justice. A critical aspect of this for UTLA is organizing for infusions of resources into our highest need schools. In a time of unprecedented wealth inequality, this is the right thing to do. And it is also the strategically smart thing to do. Because in the absence of a proactive approach from us in these school communities, Broad Walmart will target those schools for privatization, leading to a further undermining of the entire system. Ninth, we must face off against the billionaires again in the school board elections of 2017, and we must win. UTLA has endorsed Steve Zimmer for School Board District 4. Steve Zimmer is here with us tonight. Steve. Steve is a longtime teacher and counselor, someone who deeply is committed to public education, who worked with us to get rid of John Daisy. Sorry, there's that name again. Who worked with us to get rid of John Daisy, to win a contract, to pass the resolution against Broad Walmart, and more. He is running against Nicholas Melvoin, a corporate candidate who taught for 2 years through Teach for America. Full disclosure, you all know that I started teaching 22 years ago through Teach for America, and that's how I met my wife. There are good things that can happen from Teach for America. Nicholas Melvoin is not one of them. Nicholas Melvoin taught for 2 years through Teach for America before, surprise, surprise, going to law school. He then worked in support of both the Reed and Vergara lawsuits, both of which tried to undermine seniority and attack educators' professional rights. 4 years ago, Antonio Villaraigosa worked against Steve Zimmer, including Villaraigosa recruiting New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg to put millions of dollars into the school board election cycle, much of it against Steve Zimmer. We expect the billionaires to come hard after Steve, and we have to be ready. On top of this, the composition of the school board will be up for grabs, as school board districts 2 and 6 also have elections. It is crucial to understand that this new school board that will be seated in 2017 will be the school board voting on our full contract and will be the school board voting on our health benefits. When all indications are that key figures in the senior management of the district will be advocating that LAUSD wage an aggressive campaign to cut our benefits. I agree. While Steve Zimmer is a great person, and Steve, I mean no offense by this, while Steve Zimmer is a great person, our approach to politics must be to support programs, not individuals. This means establishing a platform including support for community schools, public school accountability, organizing rights for charter educators, more school funding, fully funded health benefits, and more. And it means then throwing our weight behind individuals who commit to that program. The 10th ingredient, the final ingredient, it's not quite like those lemon shavings that I make with the pancakes as the thing on top. Finally, just like we did last year through the Build the Future Fund the Fight initiative, this year we must have stone cold, honest conversation with our coworkers and get them to invest more in their union and in themselves. This time, into our political action fund, PACE. By law, unions can only spend a tiny percentage of dues money on political campaigns. This means that we must raise money for political campaigns through separate voluntary contributions to PACE. The reality is stark, folks. Broad Walmart has stated that they will spend close to $20 million on political campaigns and lobbying, while the California Charter Schools Association just dumped $10 million into the June elections, and that was a primary, and is prepared to escalate that in the coming months. Comparatively, UTLA has $400,000 in our PACE account annually from member contributions. That alone equates to us being outspent 60-1. While we will never be able to equal the billionaires in their spending, it is absolutely vital that we significantly lower that ratio by which we are outspent. That is crucial to winning election races and crucial to having money available for campaigns around key issues. Currently, only 20% of our members give to PACE. There are unions in the labor movement which have more than 75% of their members making contributions. We need to get closer to that. We need to again take care of our own house, this time the political house. There is just no other option. A key first step will be for everyone at this leadership conference to become members of PACE. The basic contribution is $8.33 per month. You will find PACE cards on your table tonight. Also, stop by the PACE table right outside the door and please sign up. At the schools, we will be organizing systematically, using lists for school sites like we did last year for Build the Future Fund the Fight, in order to support you in gathering PACE memberships. Our dialogues at school sites will also bring this very important question up. And certainly, you will get questions from some of your coworkers. We know that. Like, didn't we just talk about increasing contributions to the union last year? You will get that question. In this situation, it will be critical for you to explain the difference between PACE and dues to your colleagues. And it will be critical to be stone cold honest, assertive, and unapologetic like we were last year around BFFF. Our organization, our profession, our students depend on it. Don't apologize for it. So we hope that this conference takes us on a first step to building PACE. As we deal with a district and state that border on being broke on purpose, as we take our fight to multiple levels in unprecedented ways for UTLA, as we prepare to be strike ready in early 2018, and as we scratch and claw for all funding possible and to direct that to schools and classrooms, this can only truly be done as a team effort. I started tonight talking about the great team that I'm privileged to work with among the officers and our executive director. And we end on what will need to be another full team effort, a PACE drive led by all of you, the broad leadership of UTLA, school by school, roster by roster, member by member. This is ultimately a similar kind of teamwork that is at the heart of the community school model that Byron and Eunice introduced me with, and that this leadership conference is about. Educators working in teams with each other, with community, with students and with parents to provide the kind of education our students deserve. At Crenshaw High School, as we strove to build a community school model, that student was Alan Harris, working with parent Nydia Sotelo, working with teacher Kathy Garcia, working with community leader, may she rest in peace, Lark Galloway Gilliam. While the names are different at your school, the relationships are similar. And they are there to be organized into the local movement to build community schools and into the larger movement to fight for an education system that is led by stakeholders, not by billionaires. That is led by educators, not entrepreneurs. That is guided by student need, not the profit motive. We've come a long way in 2 years. We cleared the deck of John Daisy. We drove a massive contract campaign, and we've prepared ourselves to be a fighting union into the future. And now we head into one of the biggest years in the history of UTLA. Let's organize. Let's continue working together. Let's continue building power and keep fighting for the schools LA students deserve. Thank you very much. You all are wonderful. We're going to have a great conference. Have a great night. And thank you very much, UTLA.